up and you imagine winning, you always imagine being on top of the podium.
Michelle Kwan has grown up in front of our eyes. From child prodigy to exuberant teenager to beautiful young woman, in victory and in defeat, she has always shown the heart of a champion.
She's just amazing, just amazing. And I just never underestimate that young lady. She's got incredible strength.
Michelle Kwan, now on Biography.
A great skater is someone who leaves the sport different and better because he or she was in it. And I think that's, Michelle has done that.
She is just phenomenal. She's been so steady and, been on top for over 10 years.
To be in the building when she skates really well is a magical thing. It's a very magical thing, and she's definitely one of the greats in my mind.
She is a legend in her sport, one of the most decorated skaters in history, yet the one prize she wants most has eluded her so far. The prize that she has dreamt of since she was a little girl.
I have a different perspective now than when I was 17. And I prefer this perspective because you enjoy it so much more. And you realize at the end of the day, it's not just about that 6 minutes that I was at the Olympics. It was the everyday hard work. It's the everyday pleasure that you get to be on the ice. So when people say, oh, you're staying in to win the Olympics, it's like, yeah, I'm staying in to try and win the Olympics. And I'm staying in just because I love the sport and just because it's what I want to do.
Michelle Kwan was a child phenom. By 1996, the precocious 15-year-old was already the world champion. With only 2 years to go until the '98 Olympics, Michelle was the early favorite for the Olympic gold. Michelle appeared to be one of those rarest of child stars who actually loved what she was doing. There was no pushy stage parent waiting in the wings.
My parents said, you could quit anytime you want. My parents really gave me a choice. The sessions used to be like $5.75. My dad said, here's $5.75. You can either go to the ice rink and pay for it, or you could go to, a liquor store and buy some candy. What do you want to do? And I took the money and went to the rink. And that made me realize that the money was coming out of my hand.
By 1996, it looked like Michelle would sail through the next 2 years and collect her Olympic gold. But the next year, things started to go wrong. She grew taller and had to cope with her changing body. To make matters worse, she was having trouble with her skates. In the same year, Michelle lost both her national and world titles to the new kid on the block, Tara Lipinski.
Why did I chicken out? I was working hard, but just the focus was very negative for me. I was very uptight.
With just a year to go until the Nagano Olympics, Michelle found herself in the role of the underdog. Then, just 2 months before the U.S. Nationals, which would double as the Olympic trials, X-rays revealed a stress fracture in her left foot. Just weeks before the biggest competition of her life, Michelle was in a cast.
They told me that I had to take at least 3 weeks off. And I said, I can't be in a cast. I have pain here, but isn't there something you can do? I've worked so many years to be at the Olympics, and this is my chance. And I can't practice, and I might not even qualify. So when I went to Philadelphia for the national championships, and it was like 2 weeks after I had gotten my cast off.
But Michelle could be at her most dangerous when people underestimated her.
When you least expect it, you think, oh, everybody's kind of counting her out, and then she'll just go out there and wow everybody. And we'll all be just sitting there going, I just can't believe what we just saw. She's just amazing. Just amazing. And I just never underestimate that young lady.
At the Olympic trials in Philadelphia, Michelle was untouchable.
Almost across the board.
And the next month at the Olympics, she again skated flawlessly. But Tara Lipinski, equally flawless, snatched the gold in a close decision.
It was hard because I had thought it was good enough to win. I came home with the silver. There was nothing I could do. I was really, really happy and thrilled about my performance. And some people think that, I lost the gold, but I felt more that I had won the silver.
Lipinski won by a very narrow margin, and many experts thought Michelle had deserved the gold. But her graciousness in the face of defeat won her even more admirers. Michelle chose not to turn pro. She would continue to compete against the best in the world. She was staying in for another 4 years. She would go for the Olympic gold again in Salt Lake City in 2002.
I was like, oh my God, you're going to go for another, that's going to be 4 years, it's going to be so long. But she's a great competitor, it's what she likes to do. I think that she would feel lost if she didn't have the competition. She lives by something that competition gives to her.
For the next 4 years, Michelle reigned atop her sport, winning an incredible 4 out of 4 national titles and 3 out of 4 world titles. She headed into the 2002 Games in her home country as the reigning world champion.
The pressure was overwhelming that entire week in Salt Lake prior to her actually taking the ice that night. And I think most people could not even have taken the ice if they had that amount of pressure on them.